What's up, Harold? What's up, Clark? You guys have your Hawaiian shirts on? The temperature is going to be caliente tonight. Caliente, I tell you. All right, give us one more second, one more minute. Hit the 8:30 mark officially, and there we go. Ready? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Angie's Angles. It is December the 5th. In the year of my Lord, 2024, we're coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. If you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by. Don't forget, January 9th, Angie's Angles, Wings, Bourbon, and Cigars, January 9th. If you happen to be in my area, stop on by. We're going to have a great time. Clark and Harold, you guys are making me interstatal. Hey, Tom, how are you? Dialing it up from the lobby of Smoke Therapy. Shout out to Mike, the hostess with the mostest, who gives me the back room here to do what I do every Thursday night. Programming note, next Thursday I shall not be here. I will be broadcasting live from Adelphi University. We have late night breakfast, so I must work, but I will be on at 8:30 sharp. No worries next week. And next week we might have some news about a couple of signings, and let's segue right into the first signing. One Luis Severino signs for 3 years, $67 million. 22.25 million a year with the Athletics. You can't even call them the Oakland Athletics because they're playing in Sacramento in a bandbox. Oh my God, it's just awful, awful, awful. It is the largest contract ever handed out by the Athletics to Luis Severino. Now, there's been reports that they offered Manea a ton load more money than they did Severino, and Manea turned them down, which is really good news for the New York Metropolitans, if you know what I mean. Guys, am I coming through? Can you hear me? Just give me a yes or no, because it looks like my sound's a little off tonight. Am I coming through, guys? I'm going to wait. All right. Thank you, fellas. Thank you so much. Hey, Nick, what's going on? How are you representing Adelphi University, Nick Triano? Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. It seems like my mouth is moving faster than my words tonight. And that's going to be interesting because we got a lot to cover. So, Nick, yeah, you broke the news to me today, Nick, and I appreciate your updates all the time, Nick. Keep them coming. So one Luis Severino signs for 3 years, $67 million. So this just goes to prove my point. These owners use Benjamins to wipe their asses when they go to the bathroom. They are flowing in the money. If you could give Luis Severino $67 million for 3 years. I mean, listen, Louis did a great job for us last year coming off a reclamation project from the Skankies. But there's no chance that Louis is going to be successful in a what is that, a college, as a college field or at best a minor league stadium? I mean, holy cannoli, what are you going to be doing? Kevin Elliott, I am trying to stay. What's going on, Kev? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you, brother, as always. So we got a lot to cover. I don't really know what direction to go into. We got a lot. I promise you a hot show. So why don't we go to the ugly albatross in the room, which is Juan Soto. Juan Soto alleges, rumors coming out of his camp, that he's going to make a decision over the weekend prior to the baseball winter meeting starting on Monday. So, you know, they're banding about a lot of money. We're talking about anywhere from $660 million to $750 million, anywhere from a 12 to 15-year contract. Whatever the amount that Juan Soto eventually signs for is highway robbery. He is not worth that. He is not worth more money than a Bryce Harper. He's not close to the money worth for an Ohtani. Um, Harper can't play the field. That's quite evident and obvious. Um, he's got a career average 162 game of 34 homers, 95 RBIs, and a 276 batting average. I mean, that's not a $600 to $700 million player. Take away, stop, Kevin. Take away the lack of playing the field appropriately, or at least adequately, if you will. So we hope that the Juan Soto saga gets over with this weekend. So that would surely open the chute for everybody else to sign. Where does that leave Pete Alonso? So my opinion is Juan Soto's going back to the Skankies. It makes all the sense in the universe. He's got Judge as his protection. Judge is locked in for the Skankies. Judge Soto is a dynamic 1-2 right there. More so than anything else, in my humble opinion. So I'm not really sure. Except for the Dodgers, and they're still in play, if you can believe this. And let's not forget the Blake Snell freaking $182 million contract with a $50 million signing bonus. Kevin, correct me. What's wrong with my? It's 34.95, and I think it was 276, 280. I don't think I'm wrong, but of course you'll always correct me, Kevin, because that's what you do. So Pete Alonso, yeah, Nick, there's a lot of people saying that Soto's going to the Mets, and that Cohen's not going to be outbid, and Cohen's going to step up and offer him $770 million. I mean, it's just disgusting. I don't understand it, but we shall see. We shall see. You're right, Clark. Let's put you on the big board, Clark. Clark says, unless Soto has a career average of 325, coming off a 355 year with 50 homers, 130 RBIs, with multi-gold glove years, he isn't worth the money he's going to get. And I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with you, Clark. These guys are just. But again, please, we're gonna use the word ad nauseum a lot tonight, very shortly. But I've been saying ad nauseum that the owners, when they cry poverty during the lockout of a couple of years ago, saying they didn't have money, is full of baloney. They got all the money. They got all the money in the universe. Don't get me started. I'll go on a coughing fit. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. So Kevin's trying to give me some stats, 285, blah, 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 whatever. Kevin, 34 homers, 95 RBIs, 162 career average, if you play it out. I don't care how you, so 276, 285, no big deal. Whatever. But thanks for the correction, Kev. I know you're my go-to guy for the stats, so I appreciate you, Kevin. So Pete Alonso, give him the 6 years and 200 million, 7 years, 210 million. Let's get it done. Let's bring Pete back. Now you have a reason to sign Soto, because Pete and Soto in that lineup with Lindor and Vientos, that's a very good 1-4, if you know what I mean. But I saw some projected lineups having Soto bat second on the New York Mets. Are you freaking crazy? I would never bat Soto second in a million years in that lineup. Soto's definitely your third guy, if not your fourth guy in that New York Mets lineup. Stop already with the nonsense. Oh, my God. So we've covered Juan Soto. We've covered Luis Severino. We've covered Pete Alonso. It's 8:40. It's 8:40. My title of tonight podcast is MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred is the Antichrist. It's a little steep, a little over the top. I can't argue that. But that's what he is to me as a baseball fan. He absolutely is single-handedly destroying the game of baseball that we all know and love. Now let's talk about this golden at bat. I swear to God, I just hope that it's an early April Fool, Sid Finch bullshit story. Because there is no way in hell that I could get behind it, that I could support it, that I could watch that game with the golden at bat. Now, the particulars haven't come out 100%, but it goes something like this. 7th inning or better. Your team's got to be losing or tied. And Roger Clemens, as much as I can't stand the bastard, said it very clearly. So if I'm pitching and Ohtani's up with the bases loaded and I happen to strike him out, they could put him up again right after he struck out. I got to face him all over again. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball ad nauseum. Oh my God. What the hell is Rob Manfred even thinking about? And why isn't more people stepping up, going to the window, open it up, and says, I'm not going to take it anymore? For God's sakes. We got the freaking larger bases, the 2 pickoff attempts, the pitch clock. I mean, what else? The freaking goddamn Ghost Runner! Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred. I'm not wishing you harm. But if I happen to run into you in a dark alley, one of us ain't leaving. That's a fact. For God's sakes. I mean, come on. How can we dilute and water down this game that we love? The people here tonight, the people that watch our Facebook and via YouTube, that subscribe and comment on my channel, Angie's Angles 4121 on YouTube, please. Mark Brooks, my brother from another, what's going on, brother? I am quadruple interstatal. Mark, you just missed my big blow up on Rob Manfred. And guys, help me out. Please help me understand this. I've said it on day 1 of Angie's Angles, and I'll say it on year 3.5 and 2 quarters on Angie's Angles. The fans are the head counts in the first inning and the last inning. Everybody in between is just a has-been. They just wanted to say I was there for a second. And all of us that have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, that teach them the game of baseball like we were brought up on. My son Danny, he's beside himself with these rule changes. He cannot believe it. Ricky Henderson, in his infinite wisdom, speaking in third person, says, Ricky don't like this. Ricky would steal 500 bases with these rules. And he ain't lying. I mean, Juan Soto's not Bryce Harper. Juan Soto's not Ohtani. Juan Soto's not even Mike Trout. And you want to give this kid $600, $700 million. Remember, folks, this is the guy at 22, 23 years old turned down $450 million. I mean, for God's sakes, what is that telling you? All of us, every single one of us would play this beloved game for the minimum signing. We'd do it in a heartbeat. And then we'd be there before the game and after the game, signing a gazillion autographs. Nick, it seems like I've turned the corner with you, buddy. I think you're starting to see the light, Nick. Juan Soto ain't worth it for us, especially when, great, if he increases our offense 1.5 runs a game, who's pitching to make up for that? Sign Alonso. Bring up a kid to play right field. Sign a combination of Fried, Bauer, trade for Crochet, sign Manea, go with a 6-man rotation, and we're golden. Oh my God. Kevin Elliott. Listen, Soto, listen. Soto is an offensive juggernaut. We've discussed this. Yes. Sure. Guy in your lineup that you could count on, okay. But he's not worth anywhere near $600 million. And for 14 to 15 years, get the hell out of here. You'll be paying him until he's 41. He'll come up with plantar fasciitis in year 6. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Hey, John, what's going on? What's up with the phone number, John? I don't know. You're public here. Everybody's got your number now. But thanks for logging in, John. I appreciate you. I'm gonna add you to my cell phone. I'll shoot you a text back. But I appreciate you logging on. Oh, that's WFA. That's WFA. And that's funny, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's correct. You're absolutely right. Yes, I get it now. That's funny. I should have recognized that. Anyway, I was on the Pete Franklin show, John. I don't know how old you are, if you even know who Pete Franklin is or was, but I was on his show. We had a great conversation, me and Pete. Very, very funny. So anyway, we're at day 47 mark. Let me hear your comments. I need to hear your comments. I mean, Juan Soto, where's the landing spot? Because I really do think over the weekend he'll have a home. I'm sticking with my skanky prediction. Kevin Elliott says 100% he is not re-signing with the Skankies. And guys, this scares me. This part scares me, what I'm about to say. I can honestly, absolutely see the Dodgers making a run at Soto. I really can. And that would just be insane. That would be absolutely horrible. And then what happens if one Juan Soto comes up lame? We've covered this on Angie's Angles. Steve Cohen recoups 3/4 of the money because he's insured. And then we're playing Tyrone Taylor or Jeff McNeil in right field. It's just awful. We've got no structure at the moment. Now, you got to believe in Dave Stearns. You got to believe in Cohen doing the right things. Mark, I agree with you. We're going to put you on the big screen, Mark. Mark Brooks says if P signs elsewhere, I'll lose respect for him. And let me tell you why. And let me tell you why I agree with you, Mark. You can't be Pete Alonso and preach New York Mets love. T-shirts when you're out in the public. New York, I love you. The whole 9 yards. And then go somewhere else for another 10 to 15, $20 million. You can't do it if you're Pete Alonso. You just can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it if you're Pete Alonso. You cannot do it. You'll be vilified just like Jacob deGrom was vilified. You will have the same emotions from us Met fans. Yes, John, he does. I mean, he's a once in a generational ball player. He still has power. He had an off year, but I really think with Pete, once he signs wherever he signs and for how much he signs, I think it's going to clear his head up. I think Pete's very cerebral. I think Pete allows that to pressure him. And once he has the financial windfall that he's going to have, he's going to be able to be free of that thought and play the game that he's capable of playing. Right, John. Yes, he does 1,000%. He's very much up here, and he wants to do well. That's a good attribute to have. You want a ball player that's bleeding blue and orange, that wants to satisfy the fan base. But he couldn't do both this past season. And I really think that's a big Scott Boras issue. Because Scott Boras pumps all his guys up with his egotistical bullshit. And then reality becomes reality, and it sets in. So, I thank you, John. I just don't see Pete in any other uniform than the Met. Now, did he spit the bit last year? Sure, but he came up huge in the playoffs. We won that bat away from going home in Milwaukee, and Pete just changed the whole dynamic with one swing, and that's what he's capable of doing. And you're going to have a full season Vientos. Lindor, I think Lindor's found his magic. Okay? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing season, but we need more parts. And if you devote $700 million to your right fielder, pseudo DHer, you're gonna have Tyrone Taylor as your center fielder, because we can't go get a center fielder because you don't have the money, or you don't have the balls to give the commitment to 10 years to get a bona fide center fielder. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, Kevin, what you should change your heading from Never Ending Saga to Debbie Downer, for God's sakes. Holy Hannah. All right, folks. I haven't blown up like that in quite a while, especially in the off season. During the season, I was there, but you know what I'm feeling. So I'm saying it right now. Skanky Soto, he signs with them. Alonzo Metz. John Nimmo's not a center fielder, brother. That's been obvious, especially even when Nimmo was playing and Beta wasn't. They put Taylor in center because Nimmo's not a center fielder, and he's also dealing with plantar fasciitis, which is not a fun injury. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to the prayer circle. I appreciate everybody here. John, thanks for showing up. Harold, we're praying for Dawn Squared this evening. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda Stein, my dear friend, we're praying for your dad and yourself, young lady. Kevin Elliott, we're praying for your health and your negativity. Krause family, we pray for Aubrey as she battles in remission the C word. Clark, brother-in-law Brad, we're getting great updates. Your sister Tricia, and sir, I hope you're swinging the 9-iron sooner than later as you come back from your hip replacements. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for you. I'm trying to get an update on Mr. McGowan. The last news I got is that he was still in ICU, but making progress, so I will give you updates. Marion Bella, we're praying for your mom out there in Las Vegas. Big John, Smoke Therapy Lobby. We're praying for Irene, Phil's Nona, and your friend Richie. Larry Levy, we're praying for Frida as she also battles the C word. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. We have good news on the Mark Brooks update on the arson fire. The arsonist was denied bail, thank God. And Mark and family have picked out their home. It looks wonderful. Mark, you got to give us an update in terms of when the open house is going to be. So homecoming or the home warming party. Give me at least a month's notice. I'm going to try to make it down to you, my friend. I want to add Pete O'Shea and his wife and his family in our prayers as he faces a whole litany of of challenges out by him. And I brought this up last week. I want to bring attention to the Horn family, Lauren, John, and their son Cameron. Nolan Horn, their 15-year-old son, lost his battle with brain cancer. He passed away a couple days ago. 15 years old, young, terrible, awful. Dane and I went to the wake last night, and as a true testament to the spirit of this kid, Nolan, the line was out the door, folks. And you know, just speaks volumes of the community that we all touch. You know, Nolan, his brother Cameron, was Danny's teammate on the Longwood Lions. The entire community showed up in support of the Horn family. You know, death is not a good thing, but you know, it was impressive, to say the least, to see the outpouring of love for this family. They're good people. They're fantastic people. And Nolan was diagnosed 2 years ago, and the prognosis was not good right off the bat. It was a very aggressive form of brain cancer. And the spread, and he started losing some abilities. But he outlasted the doctor's life cycle, if you will, way past what he was supposed to live. And according to the family, he passed away with a smile on his face, peacefully. It's just it just makes you want to just grab your closest relative, a dear friend, a colleague, a coworker, and just say, hey, I love you, you know, because you're here today and you're gone tomorrow. And you never know when that's going to hit us. We've all dealt with tragedy in our lives. It's sadly a part of life. It's the horrible part. And at times when I see something like this, I do question my belief in God and say, why is this happening? Why is this even feasible? There's got to be a reason, right? So, Nolan Horn, we love you. You'll be playing on the big diamond in the sky in golf. He was an avid golfer. To the Horn family, who have our condolences from Angie's Angles family right here. We love you. We're here to support you. We won't forget you, nor Nolan. Let's just take a moment. All right, so don't forget, programming change next week. We'll be here at 8:30, but at Adelphi University, not at Smoke Therapy. January 9th, it's Angie's Angles, Wings, Bourbon, and Cigars. We should have the Soto announcement this weekend, Sunday night, the latest. I can't imagine going past that. This has been Angie's Angles, coming to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Thank you to each and every one of you. Good night. God bless. I love you.